Showtime.
All right. So, Carrie, that's crazy that both of us texted each other at like half an hour ago saying, my internet's out.
Internet's down. Like, was there a worldwide glitch? Is there something out there?
Yeah, so somebody's hacking the American system right now, or maybe it's the aliens. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was very weird. But at least they both came on at about the same time. So,
Yep. So
I was gonna have to use my phone as a hotspot, which
that's funny. So where are we at football wise? We haven't talked about football, but I guess we can say neither of our leaders' teams are in the Super Bowl. So now it's like, okay, whoever wins, wins. It's not a big deal in the dog gurus world.
Yeah, well, since I'm from California, I'm going to have to say 49ers. That's who I'm going to root for. What about you?
Yeah, I would say the same thing because, Shanahan, it's Mike Shanahan, who used to be the coach of the Broncos, which is my team. His son coaches the 49ers. And then one of the players from the Broncos, his son is playing on the team. So I think I'm going to root for the 49ers too.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. We have a couple viewers out there. So if you can hear us, please say hello in the chat. We just want to know that our technology is working.
Working.
Yeah. Our internet was going kaput like right before this. So even though we're in two very different places of America.
Of the country. Yeah.
But if you could just write in the chat, we'd appreciate it. And I'll go ahead and just get started with our introduction here. So welcome to the Dog Gurus Live. I'm Shantae Marquez, and I'm with Carrie Campbell, and we are one of a handful of the Dog Gurus Profit Network coaches. So the Dog Gurus help pet care businesses launch, grow, and profit. We offer one-on-one coaching as well as staff training resources. And a couple things that make us unique is that we are a collective of pet care business owners that are passionate about helping others reach their business goals, as well as we join the efforts of elevating the pet care industry with positive reinforcement dog handling methods. In fact, we are the only all positive reinforcement staff training courses. We have the only all positive reinforcement staff training courses that is accredited by PAC, CCPDT, and AAVSB. It's kind of a mouthful, but I got it out.
Yeah, it's a lot of acronyms.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Guarantee it. But I also want to take a moment to let you know about our live event that's coming up. So it's called the Business Breakthrough Workshop in Denver, Colorado. It's April 9th through the 11th. And if you're looking to increase your profitability, deliver excellent care quality, implement or enhance your enrichment daycare services, and grow your business and retain your staff, then this is your jam. This is where you should be. Come hang out with us for a couple of weeks. We're going to do a lot of workshops. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's always super uplifting and inspirational. We know that you'll walk away with some actionable strategies that you can implement the next day when you get home. So I'll go ahead and put the registration page up and grab a ticket before it sells out. And now I'll get down to the nitty gritty of today's topic. So how to delegate and get your time back. So this is actually one of my favorite topics to talk about. And I believe it's because it was one of the most valuable lessons that I learned while running my business. And I had a hard time knowing what I should delegate, number one. And then once I delegated that stuff, learning how to step back and let people do it. But what I realized once I did achieve that is that I was hindering my success. I was stunting my own growth in the business by not delegating tasks to others that can get it done better, just as good, or more proficiently. So let's talk a little bit about the why we should delegate. Carrie, do you have anything to chime in on that?
Well, I would just say that you never know how empowering it is for one of your staff members to get something delegated to them. It gives them a sense of responsibility. So while we tend to be wanting to hang on to it, nobody can do things as good as I can. A lot of times, like you said, when you delegate it, you find out somebody does it better or they can do it in a more timely fashion. But all in all, it does also empower them. It helps them step up and feel like they have more of a share in what the overall mission of the organization is. So.
Exactly. And it looks like we do have some people saying hello. So hello, Tina. Hope you're doing well today. And Amanda, hi. Thanks for joining us. We always love that when people talk with us. And in the meantime, while we're talking about this, if you guys have any comments or you want to contribute, ask questions, please go ahead and write in the chat. But absolutely. And so the other thing that I want to mention by business owners, when you don't successfully delegate or you don't delegate to your staff, it's actually causing you to lose money. And let's think about it like this. If you spent your time working in the business and doing the functions that you can pay somebody $15 an hour to do or something like that, okay, that's okay. But wouldn't you rather be spending your time working on strategizing and building your profit margins? Think about if you took that time to increase your profit margins by 10%, what does that equate to money-wise? I mean, look, by you not allowing yourself to focus on that, you're losing money. You're losing.
Oh, go ahead.
Go.
I was just going to say, you're also, when you look at it from the aspect, if you're paying somebody $15 an hour to do this task and you're stepping in to do it, your hourly rate is significantly higher than that. So, we want to see all of our pet care business owners making a six-figure salary. And if that's the case, you're, $100 an hour. Why would you step in at that hourly rate to do a $15 an hour task when you can delegate it to somebody and pay them the lower wage? It's, that in itself is going to save you money.
Exactly. So hopefully that convinced you a little bit out there to delegate more. But let's talk about clarifying your delegations tasks. So how do we know what to delegate? And I'll say honestly, like that's where I kind of struggled to begin with. Like the reason why I didn't hire a GM for so long running my business is because I wasn't sure what I was going to have them to do because I was doing too much and I just didn't know what to let go. So I think what needs to be done is setting a list of your tasks that you do and then deciding what should be delegated. And not every task that you do should be delegated. Let's just say that. But I also have a graphic I want to share called "Are You Wearing the Right Hat?" And I know Carrie has some good insights to this stuff. So I'll go ahead and pop that up. Sorry, it's taking me.
Technology.
I know. Okay, here we go. All right. Can you see that?
Yeah. It's at 67%. Can you make it a little bigger?
Yes, I can. Let's see. Okay, I can
scroll. Scroll. Yeah. That's perfect. So yeah, we're looking at kind of the 7, wings, if you will, or divisions of your business. So you've got your company, then marketing aspect, customer service, staff management, financial operations, and sales. So when you're looking at that overall big picture and you're really, working on the foundation items of your mission, vision, values, and purpose statement, that should be coming from you. That's where you should be setting the example and putting those foundational items in place. If you are looking at marketing from a standpoint of a bigger purpose of a new service that's coming out, or if you're in the very beginning and you're marketing to get just the growth of your client base and getting customers in the door, I would say would be more on your plate. Once you have an established clientele, that can be something that can be delegated because, your marketing can be, well, Shante, this is more your area of expertise, but your marketing can, it can be done, via social media, and you can definitely delegate your social media to staff. They love taking pictures. Half of them are younger and they are more savvy with that technology anyway. So, that's definitely, I don't know if you want to add anything on the marketing side, Shante, but.
No, I definitely think, growing your client base, and marketing is a huge job. I mean, in and itself. And there's a lot of avenues that you can utilize, not only the social media, that's obvious, right? And yes, use your staff for that, because I'm like one of those, I think it's progressive commercials that don't know how to take a selfie, right? Where they're like, you turn into your parents.
Yeah.
That's how I am. I'm not good at this. I don't like to be on camera, even though I'm doing this.
Yeah.
But, but yes, utilize your staff for that. But also look, somebody needs to be doing outreach to your current clientele for cross promotion of services. So whether it's creating a newsletter or it's creating programs, new, like maybe spa packages or seasonal VIP packages for lodging, something like that. Like all that stuff needs to be curated and needs to be put out there. And who's going to do it? So that could be something, if you have somebody on staff that's really savvy with graphics, have them do it, or you do it, and make sure your staff is doing the stuff like answering the phones and walking the dogs back and giving tours, things like that you don't need to be doing.
Yeah, and when you're looking at the next aspect of customer service, again, kind of achieving that excellence in your ratings and reviews and your brand reputation, that's twofold. That goes back to the company and you as the owner putting those foundation items in place so that the customer service and the quality of care that you're providing matches those vision, mission, values, and purpose. And there's elements of customer service that is an SOP, how you want your phones answered, how you want your staff to interact with clients. Once that's established, that can be delegated to whoever is managing the staff. It kind of falls into that operations aspect that they are monitoring the workflow of those that are underneath them, and they're able to report back to you if there are incidents or things that you need to be made aware of. But that day to day can definitely be delegated down to leadership and those that are subordinates of the leadership team. And that goes right into staff management. Just making sure that you're maintaining a well-trained staff who are informed that the communication flow from what your expectations are to your leadership team, and then that the leadership team communicating that to the staff that are doing those day-to-day operations, that the expectations are very clear so that they can be met. And then tying that in on the financial side, just kind of taking this step by step. Anything that you do that can be measured and that can be even bonus structured, making sure that you're monitoring your financials and that your leadership team or your management have a part in that. Because if they understand what the financials are and what the budget is they're working within, then you can help set some key performance indicators that they get to meet. And if they meet or exceed those, they can have a bonus structure tied to that. So, but overall, it's your responsibility to really understand the financial health of your business. So knowing your numbers, tracking your financials on a monthly basis is really key to making sure that the company is financially solid. And again, going into the operations, setting whatever those standard operating procedures are and how you want the staff to interact, that company culture, getting that in place, but then delegating the supervision of the workflow and the achievement of those day-to-day operations can easily be delegated to your leadership team. And then finally, sales, and this is definitely Shantae's area of expertise as far as really having a good sales culture and documenting how you want that workflow to go. And I'll let you speak to that, Shantae.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, sales should be systematic. You should have a system of process for your staff to follow through when conducting sales in your business. I mean, it starts from the very first point of contact that you have with your customer, and that's by gathering the information from them of what their needs are. And when you do that, you should be creating a customer profile in there. And then with that information that you learned about them, that's how you formulate your tour, because then you can actually give a tour that's specifically tailored to their needs and talk about how specifically you're going to be able to help solve whatever reasons they're coming to you for. So, and then of course you also want to be tracking your sales, just goes along with the financials. But yeah,
Just think about that from the standpoint of facilities that do multiple pet boarding or lodging. So, they're doing cats and dogs and rabbits or small animals. And, if you get a sales call that comes in for somebody who is looking for lodging for their cat, you're not going to have them come in and give them a tour of everything dog in your facility, right? So, just as an example of, really listening to what the customer is asking, and you can formulate everything based on that. So,
Yeah. And the last step would be identify who you want to delegate with. But I'll just say this one thing is that it's really hard to delegate to your staff when you don't have systems in place. So when Carrie was mentioning the operations, it's so important to have your operating procedures in place, having your duties lists in place. I mean, when the staff doesn't have direction and they don't have systems to follow, it's chaos. And chaos equals poor quality of care. I don't care what anybody says. That's what I believe. It's really hard to have consistent quality care if you don't have systems in place. So I'll just say that. But this is a good time to talk about, we do have an opportunity if you are one of those businesses that is struggling to create standard operating procedures and to create systems in your business. We actually have a workshop coming up called SOP Challenge. And let's see, actually, I think I can go through, share my screen again.
perfect. Yeah, this is an excellent time because we're kind of right after the holiday rush, but before things really start to pick up for spring break. So now is the time to kind of review what your systems are. And if you don't have them in place or you haven't finalized them, take this time to get involved with a group, get some advice from the dog gurus, as well as work, one-on-one during the workshop, so that you can get this done and in the challenge of that 30-day time frame.
And you can see that we're going to show you how to utilize AI with these systems, creating these systems. So don't think it's going to be this huge thing where you're going to have to write every single word. We're going to make it easy for you, and we're going to show you a way to do it really well and really quickly. But this is going to be a challenge that starts on February 20th. You can sign up, and there's more details here on the webpage. I did put the link in the chat, and if you're interested, you can check it out and sign up. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about, now we're at the stage of, we know we need to delegate. We've decided what we want to delegate, and now we know who to delegate to. So how do we ensure their success? Because there is steps involved with that, right? You can't just give somebody a task and give them no direction or no expectations to or goals to achieve, and then expect them to do it the way that you want to do it, right? So you have to, so the first step is really define the desired outcome. So when you give somebody a task, you need to let them know, what is your expectations with that? What does it mean to you that it's a success? Is it quantitative? Is it quality? What is it? So I think that's really important. How do you measure success? Like, for example, if you give somebody enclosure to clean, well, my version of clean is a lot different than some other people's version of clean. So when we go through the steps on how to clean something, we give a step-by-step process, but we also back that up with, this is what it means to be clean. It has to be free of debris, hair, dog hair. It has to smell good. It has to be visually clean. Those things need to be reiterated. So you need to also, when you give directions, you need to also tell them what your outcome is, what the outcome that you desire is. The next thing would be provide the right level of resources. So I'll give a quick story. When I had my GM start to track KPIs, I wanted to make it as simple as possible for her. She actually wasn't very knowledgeable with Excel. So we found a course for her to take on how to just do the basics in Excel. Number one, very low cost course. It was something she could do in like a 2-3 day period. And then what I did is I created a master tool, like a little cheat sheet on Excel, where I had what KPI I wanted her to track, what the equation is, but then also the step-by-step functions on how to find that in Ginger, my software system. So basically she could follow which clicks she needed to have and what reports she needed to look at in order to find the numbers to put it into the equation for her to get the KPIs. And after I gave her that whole list on every single thing I wanted her to track, she thought it was fun. And she was the numbers person. She was like, no, this is kind of fun. It's like putting a puzzle together. And I was like, awesome. So the whole thing is you really want to set them up for success. And you need to provide them with the right resources.
Sometimes the right resources are actually outsourcing. So not giving it necessarily to a staff member, but finding another service that may be less expensive, but just as timely and efficient. So
yeah,
I don't know where that was in your checklist. I just threw that out there so I wouldn't forget.
No, I think it's good. I think outsourcing is definitely is necessary a lot of times. So you don't have to do everything. Remember, the next thing would be establish a clear communication channel. So when you do delegate certain tasks to your staff, make sure that you have, whether it's Slack, a communication channel, some way that they can ask you questions freely, or weekly meetings with them just to check in to see how they're doing, to make sure if they need your assistance in any way that you're there, you're providing them the support that they need. That's really important. Or maybe you have them fill out a report so you can look at and they can ask questions in there, but make sure that they are able to communicate with you easily and often. And then the fourth thing would be allow for failure. This is a hard one, right? Especially if you're a perfectionist out there. I mean, I'm not a perfectionist, but I don't know, Carrie, do you consider yourself a perfectionist? Carrie's kind of a nerd about numbers too. She like geeks out on it. So maybe a little bit. But look, you're going to have to allow for failure, because how are they going to learn if they don't make mistakes? You learned the best from making mistakes. So just allow for failure. And then with that, be patient. Be patient with them, because as somebody's learning something, it takes time. And whether you might be able to do something in a 30-minute process, like do it in 30 minutes, but it might take them an hour because they're learning it. So just be compassionate and be patient out there. And then
go back to the first time you did it, because you probably didn't know how to do it efficiently the first time you did it too.
And it's hard to remember that. Like, I remember when I'd have staff and they'd be training and they'd get frustrated with the new person. And I would, have to just remind them that, look, put yourself in their shoes. It's not only learning something, it's also, look, you're around new people, you're around a new environment. It's hard. So just be compassionate. And if you're compassionate, that will follow suit with your employees too. And then, of course, once the task has been completed, provide feedback. They need to know if they did it right, or if there was room for improvement, or if they made a mistake. If you don't provide that feedback, and don't be afraid to give them compassionate, constructive feedback, they need to hear it in order for them to do it properly. And then, of course, give credit where it's due. So if they did do something well and they did something successfully, you need to shout it from the rooftops. You need to give them a pat on the back. I think that's really important. And we actually, Carrie, you could talk a little bit about the system. We have a product called Positive Feedback System. So yeah, the feedback system. Okay, maybe I'm messing it right. That sounds right. Sorry out there. Okay. Well, we do have a feedback system for people creating like reviews with your staff.
Oh, okay.
For management. Yeah. Sorry, I'm like,
the employee performance feedback.
That's it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and that really talks in detail about providing feedback, but kind of the traditional model in corporate America for years was that you had a once a year annual performance review. And now it seems that, people need feedback more frequently. So maybe that's, short meetings once a week where you're touching base, or your leadership team is touching base with those that they supervise, and that just kind of flows up. So you as the owner are only having to meet with your leadership team, but they're actually talking and engaging with the employees on a regular basis. And then as far as more of a formal review process, that can be every 60, 90 days. And that helps you track and identify any behaviors that are happening with the employees so that you are able to address things and do a course correction if needed, but also acknowledge when there are successes and celebrate those as a team, because that's really important. And I think it's even more important nowadays because people like that acknowledgement that they're doing a good job, that they have, they're contributing to the overall mission of the organization.
Yeah, I really butchered that title, didn't I? Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yes, they need to know, they need acknowledgement, they need that positive feedback. So you have to give it to them. So we really just want to help you guys set yourself for success. And we want to be able to provide you guys all the resources that can help you do that. So we actually have another promotion going on that's called the Operations Bundle. And let me share that, show you what it looks like. It's a pretty good deal. So you actually get these 6 products, and we bundled it together, and there is quite a bit of savings on that. It's $150 off. But you get the 4 E's of excellence, you get the standard operating procedures, you get the dog management tools, employee handbook development guide, job descriptions, and daycare 2.0, which is a very hot item. So if you want to implement enrichment daycare services but aren't sure how, that's what you want to check out. That course is pretty cool.
And that's actually an online course. So there's materials that you receive within the bundle, but then the course itself is online, and it's excellent. It really will walk you through step by step creating and implementing that program in your facility.
Yeah, it'll help you big time. Because, when I was trying to figure out how to write SOPs, it would have taken me a year. And then I went and purchased the book, and I was like, oh, this is done in a month.
Yeah. I can just cut and paste. This is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it really made things a lot easier. And then from that point on, you can customize it and perfect it and add in things or take out something if it doesn't fit your needs. But it makes things a lot easier. So that's a pretty good operations bundle that I think people should take advantage of before we take that promotion down. So.
Great.
All right. So anything else that we want to mention?
I'm just going to say my top 3 outsourced tools, because we do refer to these a lot, especially with our Profit Network folks, is that Fancy Hands is an organization that will do individual tasks for you if you just have something, a one-time spreadsheet or something you need updated or created. But they also have virtual assistants, and that's who my personal VA is through. Love them. Upwork is another one where you can look for a specific task, and they have people in all areas of expertise. So you just kind of type in what you're looking for, and you just get a list of people that you connect with that can do the task for you. And for entrepreneurs specifically, Time, Etc. is another one that does a lot of work with virtual assistants and individual tasks. So those 3, Fancy Hands, Upwork, and Time, Etc. are the 3 that I really recommend to people. Yeah,
that's awesome. And they can really help you. I think they can just also keep you accountable and help you stay organized too. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody for joining us on this live here. Last thing I'll do is invite you to join our Grow Your Pet Care Facebook group. And the link is right there, but it's a really great place to just receive feedback or just support out there. It's a group filled with pet care entrepreneurs, and it's always very active. So check it out and join it if you're not already a member. All right, everybody have a great day. And
you know what I was just thinking, Shantae? Today is the 31st of January, and you and I don't have to worry about this anymore, but it's like happy get your tax documents out to your employees deadline day, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know.
That's always a big push for business owners. Yep.
Yeah, that's true. So hopefully everybody mailed out those W-2s.
Yeah.
Because that's the deadline. So
midnight tonight. So post offices stay open.
Yeah. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.